Welcome to Let's Talk Money Honey, the podcast where we break down the world of investing and wealth building for women who are ready to control their financial futures. We're your hosts, Elise Levy of Legacy Wealth Planning
and Holly Henry of Diamond Legacy Wealth Management. We're two financial advisors on a mission to empower and educate women so they can build confidence, work towards growing their wealth, and pursue their biggest investment goals. Investing isn't just for Wall Street, it's for you. Whether you're just getting started or looking to level up your portfolio, we're here to make investing approachable, fun, and totally doable. So grab your coffee
or your wine and let's talk money, honey. All right, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Money, Honey. And today we're talking about the part of wealth building that nobody talks about. Holly, what is it?
It is boring. It is repetitive. And especially at first, it's slow. And this is not anything that people want to hear. But I think we've got to say it because so many people just give up because they don't understand that.
Absolutely. And I think I see this on social media all the time, but it's really true. Your first 100,000 invested is so hard. Mm-hmm. It really is hard. And it's such a hurdle. But your second, it just gets easier and easier over time. And part of that is, as we know, compound interest. And part of it is the rule of 72, which I love explaining to clients because it's, I think, like second grade level math. It's really easy. And the rule of 72 is you take the interest rate of whatever you're invested in. So let's say you're 100% invested in the S&P 500. On average, last 100 years, it has averaged a return of 10%. So this is super easy math. So we're going to take 10%, divide it by 72, and that's how many years it would take your investment to double. So 7.2 years. So your 100,000, that would take 7.2 years to double. But then the next 7 years, that 200 becomes 400. Mm-hmm. So you can see then it becomes 800. It just becomes a snowball rolling down the hill.
Yeah, and I have said, especially the last few years, I don't see how people are going to get by that's not investing. And I'm not even saying like large amounts, but it's like the stock market has done so well that I feel like there's just going to be this gap between the people that are choosing not to invest versus the one that are investing. And by investing, I'm not always even meaning the stock market. Like there are several ways a person can invest. So whatever fits your journey, whatever, just invest. But I will say that there is no money that can be made if your money is just sitting in a checking account and a savings account. Lisa and I discussed this on another video. But it's like what I see happen a lot is people come in here and they're in their 20s and they're excited and they're gonna really start investing as much as they can. And then by like year 2 or year 3, they're done because they just don't feel like the progress is being made. And so even though the interest has been good for them, they don't really see it. And I think some of this, and I'm just going to go out there and say social media, I feel like really says a lot of false things about investing. Yes. And they make you believe success is going to happen overnight.
I know, and it just doesn't. And it's so cheesy. I feel like I have all these colloquialisms I say on this podcast. But a lot of them are true. And it's like, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. So with investing, if something is going to make you a millionaire overnight, it's probably not. It's probably a scam.
Well, and I will say so many, like when I'm talking to young people, they're like, well, why should I invest long term when I could be a day trader? And when you really look at like the success of most day traders, like the probability is low. I'm not saying that they're
Very
not
low.
All like occasionally people are going to hit a home run. But that's not normally how you build your true wealth. And I will say that, like, I think there would probably be more day traders if the success was higher.
That's so true. Well, and I want to just loop back because I think you've made a great point. It's like, year one investing, You're excited, you're motivated, you're doing all this stuff, you're doing it all right. Year 2 and 3, you hit a slump. So,
Mm-hmm.
what's your suggestion for those people who we haven't hit our benchmark yet, our goal? We're trudging along, but we're demotivated. What should we do?
Quit looking at your account. You keep investing and you quit looking because you've got to remember that this is a long-term play. And especially right now when the market is volatile, and at least we all have those clients that it's like, when the market's down because they're going to be calling you. And it's like, we're not going to be playing off of our emotions. We're going to stay invested. We're just going to keep going. And it's not fun. Investing is not fun, but I can tell you, I'm so thankful for the money that I set aside in my 20s because here I am in my 40s going, okay, if I want to retire early, I can. Like, it's an option. I may choose not to, but I just like to have the option of it in case life happens.
Absolutely. And I think like when you get in a slump like that, look at everything and say, can I be doing more? Are there other
Mm-hmm.
ways? Like, can I be adding to my investments that I'm already doing on a monthly basis? Where can I maybe stretch myself a little bit? We talk about it in a different episode, but like considering building your income stream, should you get into maybe rental properties or Airbnbs or start with a side hustle? It's like start really expanding your thinking
Mm-hmm.
and not just be waiting around for all these things to start building. I think where I really see momentum is like year 4 and year 5. And I just had one of my first clients I started with 5 years ago. We had an annual review and they were like, I can't believe what we've built. And
Mm-hmm.
and they even said they were like, we weren't sure that this was gonna become anything.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have a really healthy emergency fund. We have accounts for each of their kids for income, for education purposes. They are building their retirement and they're just amazed at how it's starting to compound. So I feel like that's when you kind of start to hit your stride once you make it through that uncomfortable year 2, year 3.
Yeah, and I think it's also important that you have a meeting with your financial advisor. Like, if you're just unsure and you're wanting to quit, before you do, call them up and just have the conversation because sometimes like, even me, I feel like my account's not doing as well as it is. So I pull a report and see what it's earning. And then I'm like, oh, my bad. And I've done this with several young clients that it's like, no, your account is earning 10% plus. Like, what's your other option? Like, you can pull this money out, but you're just going to most likely waste it on something that's going to gain no value. And again, we always talk about vehicles, and I'm going to pick on vehicles again. You can go out and pull your money and buy an expensive vehicle, but just remember, like, vehicles go down in value. They decrease in value. Like, in 5 years, that vehicle is going to be probably worth not near as much as what you paid for it. At least mine haven't been. And so it's like, leave your money invested. Don't, and again, I'm going to blame it on social media. And maybe just life in society right now. It's like we have no patience. It's like if Amazon's not going to
Yes.
deliver that box in 2 days, we're going to be mad. Um, it's like everything is
Instant
fast.
gratification.
100%. And I am just as bad too. This is not something you can push. Like, I wish it was. I 100% wish it was.
Well,
But
and I
this
do
is just
want to
long
say
term.
I am not above bribing myself. And, using little tricks, it's a good idea. So let's say, okay, you really want a new pair of shoes. Say, I can buy that new pair of shoes once I max out my Roth for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Or, stick to your spending habits and quarterly take yourself out for a really nice meal or whatever gets you
Mm-hmm.
excited. I am not above that.
a
100% treat yourself along the way if that's going to keep you motivated.
Yes, 100%. Because I do feel like that there has to be good balance between, all right, we're going to live our life now. I don't want you to just not go out and enjoy life, but we do just have to invest, and we have to know that this is for years down the road, especially the retirement accounts, and especially the ones that are young and they can only do the $25 a month or the $30 a month. They're not going to see like this huge jump, and that's okay. It is okay because there's lots of time on your side. just keep plugging away.
Absolutely. And like, it isn't sexy to stay consistent and boring and do all these things, but also being broke isn't sexy, and not being able to
Exactly.
retire isn't sexy. And
And these are just, I mean, they're real conversations that I would say that Elise and I have on a regular basis with people that's like, okay, you've lived such a great life, but now you can't retire. So you're going to have to keep working until you don't want to. And
yeah,
it's like you've overspent. And that's not fun because the one thing that they want to do is just retire and go home and rest. And it's like, no, like you may have another 5 years left before you can retire. So it's like,
absolutely.
just bite the bullet and put money back. And if you don't have a financial advisor, it's probably time that you start that conversation. People think that like financial advisors are for when you have a lot of money. And I just want to be like, no, financial advisors are while you're building it to help you stay on track, because there's just so many times that people's just their emotions get in the way, their fear gets in the way, so they just kind of derail. And it's like, no, that's when we step in, even if you're in the very, very early stages of building wealth, just to make sure you stay in line.
Absolutely. And I just think it's so important to just think about your future self. Like, you're not doing this for a stranger, you're doing this for you. And I
Mm-hmm.
just read a stat the other day that like people who are in their 30s and 40s now, we can expect to live to our mid 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Children that are being born now are probably going to live to at least 100, 105. So that's a long time. So even if you retire at standard age 65, you need your money to last you like 30 years at
Mm-hmm.
least. If you
Mm-hmm.
retire early, that's even longer. So that takes work. That doesn't happen just by a fluke.
No, and like going back to even what you were saying earlier, it does not take a lot of money when you're young for it to really compound into a snowball later in life. It's just that you have to keep it in there because, again, there's so many people that go, I heard someone's lost money on the stock market, so I'm pulling it all. And it's
Absolutely.
like let's ask questions and make an educated decision before we do that.
Yeah, and I think like understanding that the biggest asset you have as a young person is not money, it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have more time in the stock market because the stock market is cyclical. There are bull markets where the market goes up. There are bear markets where the market goes down. That is normal. The stock market has a correction usually at least once a year. So even if it's trailing upwards, there are moments that it's going down.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are invested for the long haul and you have a really long time horizon, it doesn't matter as much because you're not stressing about the day to day. You're looking long term.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the more time you have, it's such a resource. So that's why we say, like, if you are young and listening to this and investing now, it's going to be so much easier for you versus someone who starts when they're 50 because they have more time.
100%. And I will say, if you're young and the bear market hits, don't be afraid of it. Take advantage of it. It's like a clearance sale. Like, we're gonna if the stock market continues the same pattern it has over the last 100 years, it will go back up. It will go back up, and we're gonna hope that it goes up quickly. But if not, put the money in and just forget it. Like, just if you are young and you feel comfortable in this, invest aggressively because again, time is on your side. And if the market goes down, so many people get afraid of it, but that's not something to necessarily fear because as Elise says, it goes down. It's just part of the process. It goes down. And we just are going to have faith that it goes back up like it has the last 100 years.
Absolutely. And I think just like wrapping it all together, this is general advice. Specific advice to you and your situation and your risk tolerance is really important. So we're always going to encourage you to work with a financial advisor who will always check in with you, always see like are goals the same? Should we be doing the same amounts monthly? Having that accountability partner through your investing journey is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, listen to our videos, but know like you can always meet with either one of us because every person is different and how they relate to money and use money as a tool is different. Holly, anything to add as we wrap up?
No, I mean, just as always, if you like our videos, be sure and subscribe. And then don't forget that we have a monthly newsletter. If you're interested, we would love for you to join the newsletter. You just need to send us your email address and we will gladly get you added. And as always, just feel free to reach out to us. We love discussing these topics and we just want to hear what you have to say.
100%. Thank you guys so much for listening.